Hello everybody and welcome back here on Eiersholt farm. It is day 8 in late spring and we're running 9-day cycles on seasons. In the last episode you saw a little glimpse of the worker putting corn down up in one of the fields. That has now been finished, so he's sitting down here in the wash bay ready to get cleaned up, but actually we got something more pressing to do. Like I mentioned in the last episode, we got the GPS unit installed on the sprayer, and we were starting to see some weeds appear out on one of our fields. Now I don't actually know how big a deal the weeds now are with seasons on. Obviously they only occur in relatively smaller clumps, and I don't know how widely they're going to spread. So in the name of science and hopefully not too much financial loss, we're going to experiment a little bit. We got two fields with cereal crops on. We got a wheat field, quite a large one, with a little bit of weeds already showing on it, and we got a barley field a little bit further up. We're going to leave the barley field untreated, at least for now, unless it looks like suddenly the weeds start taking over completely. But I am going to head out and do the wheat field, which is also the largest one, and it'll give us an opportunity to get our GPS unit tested out here on the farm as well. I will just briefly stop and show you here on the map. So here we are, there's the map in its entirety. We're just up in this little corner here. So field 29 is our wheat field. If I just take the kneading lime off, because we didn't get that field spread with lime, you can see there are a few pink patches around now, indicating that there are weeds in the field. So we're going to try and spray those out and preemptively spray the rest of that field. But we've got field 30 up here, sort of to the northeast, and there's no sign of weeds in it right now. And we're going to leave it just for now to see what happens. But I can see that weeds have started spreading into this field more than we saw before. So I've slowed time down again. Like I said, normally I would play on ×5, but we're getting towards late-ish afternoon, and I do want to make sure that while we're recording here, there's a little bit of daylight to be able to see what's actually going on. Now this is obviously a nice shiny new GPS unit for me here on the farm, so do forgive me if I fumble a little bit with the controls as we get this set up here in the beginning, but we'll get the booms unfolded and we'll get underway and start getting this field sprayed up, hopefully. I reckon if I run down along this line here to begin with and kind of set the GPS course accordingly, I think we should be okay. But like I said, it is a bit of a new experience here, so if I'm right, we should drive forward for a bit here, preferably turn the sprayer on as well, of course, and then we should be able to set our line point and put our steering on, and we're away, hopefully. It looks like I'm missing a little bit out on the edge of the field there, but I can live with that. Now I've set the width of my implement as well, so that we can keep track of things. It may be that I end up doing a bit of the headland here first, without full GPS controls, because it looks like I'm going to be hitting the mast here, so I might actually do around the headlands first, and then we can fill the rest in using the GPS afterwards. there we are. That is one round of the headland, and that has basically cost us about a third of the tank volume. Now obviously, because I didn't use GPS here, I now have to try and roughly figure out how wide I can go now that I set my track again. I'm trying to line up with the field here. I reckon this is going to be a little bit touch and go. I'd say still getting used to the system here. We're going to try and set a line going here. Mark my start point. Mark my end point. And then it would probably be helpful if I actually turn the sprayer on this time, but we'll come up to the edge of the field here, start moving forward, get ourselves going on the track, and hopefully we should be okay for working the field like this now. I'm not convinced that we're going to be able to do this on one tank full, but we have another 5,000 liters sitting in tanks down on the farm already, so we will be able to come back and reload without it costing us a bunch of money, at least, because yeah, money is disappearing real quick on this map, like I said in the last episode as well. I hope at some point we're going to be able to say that money is actually coming in real quick instead. So I'm obviously going to be overlapping a little bit on this turn here, and I'm going to have to just swerve for a moment. Let's go around the post. Narrow miss there. And see if we can get back on the track. Good. And I reckon once we're into full overlap here, I will simply make the turn and we'll clear off the bottom of this field at a sort of follow-up stage where we cut across the field instead, maybe. Let's see if I can find the line coming back over. There we go. Us basically out of herbicide with a bit of a corner still to go here on the field, so I'm just gonna run till we get out. We're basically on line with the electricity poles here, so I think I just need to see if I am able to save this track. We'll save it. That should enable us to come back to it, because we need to head down to the farm and get refilled. The forecast is starting to talk about rain as well, so I hope we can get the last bits finished before it gets too late. But it looks like we're taking care of the weeds on this field at least. It will be interesting to see if they spread out wider. There were certainly more clumps forming on this field, but interestingly enough, we haven't got any yet on the northern field. We're obviously using a lot of herbicide on a field like this. It is not cheap, so I really hope we get a good yield out of this, because we've already put a lot of money into it in terms of fertilizer and now herbicide as well. So we have two options, I guess. We can use the tanks that we've already invested in, or we can try and go over here. Now let's see, one of these, here's the herbicide tank. So if I run up here and start filling up, so obviously right now we are paying for the herbicide, and I assume it's costing us a little bit more than it would do down at the shop. But on the other hand, right now we still got a little bit of cash, so we're gonna let that sit and fill here for a little while. In the meantime, we're just gonna go up and have a super quick look at the cows, because I did mention in our first intro episode that we were going to look a little bit at the animals here as well. It's only going to be a quick one this time. Slurry pit is filling up nicely. In fact, I'm starting to wonder how much capacity there is in here. I guess I'll find out when it's full, whether we need to actually start offloading and putting some out on the fields early. It's not really the time of year for it. But yeah, we got our cows in here. Now with seasons, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into the menu so you can see the cows. So here are our cows. They're not terribly clean right now, but we'll get that sorted out. And the first ones on the list here is the last wagon load of cows that came in. The health is doing quite well. It's increased. They arrived with 80% health, and they're now up to 82, so that's all good. They got plenty of water. They got total mixed ration, and great feature of seasons and Eiersholt map here is that the grass automatically gets grazed off the animal pen. So I have not had to fill any of those 7,818 liters in, which is brilliant. So you can see this cow is 2 years old. It's currently not fertile. Got plenty of slurry in that pit already, 31,000 liters. So if I move down this list, we should start seeing the first batch here have not started being artificially inseminated yet. But here we go, we come into the next part of the batch, the earlier arrivals on the farm here. They're also 2.1 years old. So this one is fertile, but currently not pregnant because there's no next animal in. So if we keep going down this list, here we are. Here's one that's then expecting a calf. You can also see it's increased in weight. It's 509 kilos, 508 for some of the other ones, and 500 for the ones that's only just arrived. So 0.7 years before it breeds a calf. And I'm not 100% sure. I perhaps need to read up on seasons a bit. My understanding will be that that's the point when our Holstein cattle actually starts producing milk, maybe a little bit before then. But right now, going through my list here, there's another one that is pregnant. Here's another one. So we are getting a few. Another one there, that's 4 so far, 5. And then quite a few, 6. So and then we're into the chickens. So we currently got 6 calves on the way, and that I guess means 6 cattle that will start producing milk as well at some point. But I'm going to be patient and see how that pans out. We need to come in and clear up here tonight so it gets a little bit cleaner. The map has been updated, so it should now work better as well. So I think, oh, the money is still running down here on the sprayer. We spent about 5,000 so far. Gosh, this is one thirsty machine. Oh, there we go, not 5,000, 4,681. But we better get back out into the field, see if we can get our GPS track loaded and finish off spraying our wheat before the rain comes in. I guess ideally we didn't really want to start spraying right before rain and on slightly wet crop, but needs must. So if I now go into my GPS unit again, if I turn it on to begin with, and then I still am on that track, which looks good. So I can put my booms out. With a nice full tank of herbicide again. Bring myself into the line here. That's the midpoint, the white dots. And once we engage the GPS unit, they should turn green. And we'll get on the track, and then once we're over the wires there, we're back on spraying right on the track where we left off. So that's obviously enormously effective, especially for spraying where you can't visually see where you have sprayed for herbicide. So having a GPS unit is really essential. So I'm already feeling that this is a good investment. Otherwise I could have probably used up way more herbicide trying to cover this field. But let's crack on with the last bit of the work here. Get this field sprayed. There we go. I think we're done spraying. I will be the first person to admit that I don't think that was the best possible GPS track through this field, but we're still just getting to grips with the system, and it was certainly effective in keeping us on track, knowing how wide the sprayer is and being able to run tracks that are much better aligned than if we just did it by eye, which would no doubt cause a great deal of overlap or some huge gaps where the weeds would emerge back in. I'll hop into the cab here and I'll get this machine up to the farm. I'll put time back up now. There's still daylight. We made it. Looks like there's more rain coming in again soon, but at least we got the spraying done for today, so I'm quite pleased with that. Took a little quick look at the cows today, and we tried out a new GPS unit, and all that's really left to do for today is to wash up and put away some machinery, and then we got one more day of late spring left, and then we'll be heading into summertime. We do need to put some fertilizer back down on the grass, I think, but that's pretty much it here. So I'll switch this one off. We'll do a quick hose down, put our equipment back, and we'll call it a day. That's one done. Let's get the cedar put away in the shed. We are not gonna need the, well, cedar. This is a planter. This is the one we use for corn. We could use for soybeans and sugar beets as well, and I would like to grow some root crop at some point, but that's going to be in one of the coming years on the farm rather than right away. So for now, we're going to be putting this piece of machinery back in the shed, and we can probably think about taking the dual tires back off the case 7250 here. So what I'm going to do, and this is where I'm not sure, my understanding is that when you let machinery stand idle for a while, you leave the hydraulics down like this, just to not cause any problems. But if anybody knows differently, let me know in the comments below, and we'll do it properly. We'll put the fertilizer box off as well. There's a little bit left in it, but I think it's okay to leave that for now. So we'll take the case down to the workshop, mainly because we also need to wash down our sprayer. We'll leave it at the workshop for now. We won't take the duals off right away. There'll be enough time to do that at a little later stage here, but we can park it up around here. I think we can just about squeeze into the workshop, like so. So summertime should actually be a relatively relaxing affair here on Eiersholt. We've got the crop in. We obviously want to keep an eye on it and see if it's growing. We are probably going to have to put down some herbicide on the corn up in the field, up the hill, and we're going to start considering whether we're going to be bringing in the pigs. We do have some spare grain in our silos that would make it possible to feed pigs, so we could bring in at least a few piglets, even if it's just on a sort of experimental basis. I don't want to sort of get too low in money before we know how our harvest yields are looking, but I reckon we could spend, I don't know, 30,000 would probably be okay to take towards the pigs. But I think that's pretty much our work for today, everybody. We got our new GPS unit tested. It works really well. We got our machinery cleared up. We went through a tank and a quarter of herbicide, and we got one field covered at least. Like I said, we're going to try and leave the barley field to see what happens. That is the smaller one, so if it turns out that it has a really negative impact on things, it's not going to be the end of the day. And then I'm going to leave it here for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you are enjoying this Eiersholt series, please do hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel. But for now, it's thank you very much from Overcord Gaming.